Rohit. Are you guys able to hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, Matt is also joining in. Pradeep.
Hey, Pranav. Hey, Vilesh.
Hey, Rohit.
Hi, Rohit. How are you? Long time. How are you?
All well. Thank you. How are you?
All well. All well.
Fantastic. Hey, Matt. Welcome.
Great. Pranav, how you been?
Sorry, Rohit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I was still on mute. How have you been?
Doing well, Matt. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How was the flight okay back from Colorado?
Yeah. Flight was pretty good.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Rohit.
Hey, David.
I'm still enjoying some of the goodies you left at the house.
Okay. Nice. Fantastic.
Hi, David.
Hey, David. Welcome.
Hey, everyone.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes. A lot of people joining in. We've had pretty full house of registrations coming in. So we are also live streaming this on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. Srinath, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Good to be here.
So while we wait for a few more minutes, let me go ahead and just share a quick overview type or an agenda, right? The way we are going to put this out over the next 2 hours is we'll kickstart in another 2-3 minutes, and we'll do a short introduction about foundership, and then we will get started with the with the pictures of the graduation showcase startups, and towards the end we'll have some closing comments from bunch of key people, and in the middle we'll look to break the monotony with some additional introductions as well. So we'll kickstart in about 2 minutes. So we are having people joining in from all parts of the globe, right from Southeast Asia to folks out in the US. Some folks have really likely to wake up very early in the East Coast as well to join our graduation showcase today. So really excited about everyone's participation in making this a grand success, and most importantly, have an opportunity to hear what our startups have done, what have they progressed, and see what can be created as outcomes or facilitated as outcomes. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. We are at the customary 5-minute wait for people to come in, and appreciating everyone else who have joined on time. Warm welcome to everyone. Thank you so much to join us today. It's India time evening, and in US it's early in the morning on the East Coast, and towards the east in Southeast Asia it's closer to hitting the bedtime. So really appreciate everyone joining in today. Thank you so much. On behalf of Foundership, Santosh and I, and the rest of the team. Uh, my name is Bimlesh Gundarao. Santosh and I are the co-founders at Foundership. On behalf of the entire Foundership team, super excited to have all of you join us today in our first LaunchCamp graduation showcase. This is something that started off, in June last year as an evaluation program, and the program got started in August, and the cohort graduated on 31st of March this year. So it's been super exciting times, and ensuring that they have all the right support in order to take their product forward, take the startup forward, and really exciting to showcase what each one of these startups have progressed and where they are today in front of you, right? So with this, would love to kickstart with a short introduction about what we do at Foundership. We are a Web3 accelerator and a network where startups from idea to launch, we incubate and accelerate thousands of projects, startups with our unique model of coaching, capital, and community. Uh, Along with this journey as a network, we are also embarking on building out the largest Web3 ecosystem that can enable every global founder to ensure that they are never building it out alone, and they have the right founder first ecosystem that is predominantly enabling them across all parts of the world to ensure they have a fantastic launchpad to to launch their success. Over the last 9 months, we have had unbelievable response from the community. We have had 410 global startups apply to our flagship Zero Scam program, which is a 3-week incubation program uh, from all over the world. We have been receiving applications, and even today we have received about 15 applications just as we embark on this graduation showcase. Over the last 9 months, because we run a 6-month acceleration program, we have now had 3 batches of LaunchCamp program with 20 startups cumulatively across them. So our cohort 1 had 7, cohort 2 had 7, our cohort 3 has 6, and these startups are from across the globe, and that's how makes it wonderful to say that we are enabling truly global entrepreneurship on the Web3 ecosystem for top projects to get built out. From a community initiative point of view, we now have 40 global city chapters that enable meetups every month, and we have seen this grow fantastically over the last 90 days from 18 cities in India only to about global 40 cities around the world. Our programs are nothing without our coaches, so we are super excited to have 50 plus coaches from around the world as part of our coach DAO, coach collective as we call it, where we have a very unique model as to why coaches associate with us to enable long-term benefits and long-term wins for the startups, because the coaches get rewarded as part of the equity allocation that we get from a startup, thereby creating a win-win-win across all the stakeholders in the ecosystem. From a partner's point of view, we have onboarded several partners across protocols, over the last few months and over the last many months, and our capital network of over 40 plus VCs and angels right from Southeast Asia to the US. So one interesting part that we now putting all our initiatives together, we call this as our Foundership Web3 ecosystem stack. We are now launching, a new program called Project Camp or Project School or Project Labs. The name is getting worked out as we speak, but the whole idea is to create, a platform for developers to continuously hack and build and work on their skills and work on ideas. That's predominantly focused on startups or developers at the idea stage, who will then potentially graduate into our 0x camp, which is the current flagship program, which is to attract folks who are moving from idea to MVP, and then coming into our key program, which is the LaunchCamp program, where predominantly startups who are raising funds or who have already raised funds have an opportunity to come in and leverage the entire ecosystem. All this is incomplete without the community and the coach DAO, and that's how we enable that the founders never build alone, and they have a global ecosystem access of community and coaches to help them accelerate. And this is fantastically supported by our new ventures initiative and our capital partners coming in, and with our protocols and platforms coming in as engagement partners to engage deeply with these high intent founders to ensure that they are not only building out a product but building a business that can scale and change the way we interact with technology, with Web3 and blockchain. And all this at the bottom drives our entire event programming across the world. We've now, we started off with last year from Dubai. This year we've been, we have a calendar of global events where Foundership is going to be there across all the major events, in the crypto space. So in a nutshell, starting June onwards, you will see that every stakeholder in the Web3 ecosystem has an opportunity to engage, not only from developers to get access to how do you build a business, but also with strong founders to launch their products, go out to mainnet, acquire their first users, get their fundraise done, and also for high quality, high intent founders to get access to fantastic partners to build their protocols on, and enable newer protocol partners to get access to fantastic founders. Our program is completely driven by coaches. Coaches form a very important aspect of our initiatives and program. We now have global coaches of 50 plus coaches. Some of them are on this call, including David Atkinson himself is also an advisor with Foundership, and bunch of others, including Srinath and a couple of others that I saw initially joining in. Some of these coaches have been tremendously, adding tremendous value to each one of the startups contextually. That's one of the key differentiators at Foundership, that we no longer follow a cookie cutter approach that one size fit all. Our whole programs are completely goal based driven. So every startup with their goal gets the coach assigned, and that's how the execution happens, so that you focus on what you want to achieve, while the accelerator is there to facilitate the entire network and getting you access to help you achieve what you need to achieve. This is a short snapshot of our ecosystem. On one side, we have the platforms. On the other side, we have our capital partner ecosystem. Every month, the presentation can only fit in a few, but there are a lot more partnerships that have been in the work, that have closed, that are in pipeline. So super excited to bring the opportunity of creating a fantastic ecosystem that not only believes in getting access, but believes in their ability to give to each other, and thereby creating success all around the ecosystem. So as an accelerator, we are a global accelerator. All our programs are virtual, thereby enabling startups to work with us, and we have the ability to work with startups because our startups are global. our coaches are global, and our investors are global as well. So introducing our first portfolio of LaunchCamp. They started off in August. These are the set of companies that are going to be showcasing today. One of the projects called Unaki is undergoing a pivot right now, so they will not be showcasing. So rather than me spending a lot about these startups, let's hold on to hear from them. That will make it more exciting and interesting, and hear the true story. From a portfolio 2 point of view, we have got widespread startup from Brazil to startup in India to student startups to very early stage startups across the spectrum, from ticketing to building a travel protocol, to a security and inheritance wallet protocol, to a creator economy protocol as well. So this our second launch camp cohort graduates in August, September this year, and would love to have many of you join in then as well. Lastly, but not the least, our third batch, our third cohort, kick-started their program on 31st March. We haven't yet announced, so many of you are seeing it for the first time here, this portfolio. We will do a public announcement on them pretty soon, by end of April. So this again, we have a startup from Vietnam and bunch of other startups from India and rest of the world as well. Again, across the spectrum, we've got 2 NFT utility projects. One is tokenizing urban farms with tokenizing and doing on-chain lending. We have an e-commerce loyalty rewards and e-commerce BNPL platform coming in, and we have a fantastic circle of games which is redefining how to engage users in the blockchain gaming space. From a community initiative, we run 3 large initiatives. One is our monthly meetups that happen across 40 global chapters around the world. Second is our live show Web3 tools. We demonstrate fantastic products to our community every 2 weeks, and we run a host of masterclasses by our coaches and our partners to ensure that everyone has the right perspective on who is building, on who is developing fantastic Web3 products. This is a glimpse of how our global community chapters are spread out, and our target is, Santosh has this ambitious target that he set out, to say that the foundership should be in about 75 cities as chapter cities around the world, and that's something that super excited to see that we have already hit halfway by end of this quarter. From a quick perspective, that foundership is being global everywhere around the world, attracting founders to be part of this ecosystem and leverage the structure and the coaches. This is a fantastic opportunity for both coaches, partners, and capital partners to be associated with foundership, because we truly believe that this is an opportunity to play a large global game with a unique model of rewarding coaches for their involvement, for their time, for the commitment in enabling success for the startups in the long run. This is our team. Our leadership team is out here. Pranav Agarwal is our addition to our team. Joined us in December last year. Works out of Dubai. He'll be talking a little bit about a new initiative on Foundership Ventures. Banu is a founding member on tech. He's based out of Singapore. David and Srinath are our key advisors out here. So with this, would love to invite all of you once again. Thank you so much for being part of LaunchCamp graduation showcase today, and would now invite our first startup to start the showcase. Aju, are you ready?
Yep.
Sure. Pranav, can you make him a host? Yeah, you can share your screen, Aju.
Yes. Thanks, Vimlesh. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Give me a sec. Yes. I hope this is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people joining if you guys want to.
Yeah. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over to you, Arjun.
Yes. Thanks, Vimlesh. Welcome, everybody. My name is Aju G. Nair. I'm the co-founder of linkDOT. At linkDOT, we are revolutionizing the future of work. Before I tell you how we are doing that, let me tell you a quick story. A quick day in life of a Web3 freelancer. It's a story of our own freelancer, Danny. If you're like Danny, a couple years back, very ambitious, like, big on ambition, low on cash, caffeinated AF. Monday is the day where he go and check on the follow up for the proposals, how his relationship goes. Now, that's a usual day in life of any freelancer, but usually for any client, whenever he's asking, there is the two main things that any client would ask, like Danny have gotten that question too. They want to see testimonials, they want to see references, they want to see some proof of work that you have done. He's asking for a date. The next thing, again, he is just starting in the career. First thing that he's asking is his dad. I mean, the client doesn't know where this thing is coming, where this testimonial is coming from. Because how will the client know, right? Now, we all have this friend, CEO, who you can go and pull a favor from. Even though these guys have never worked together, he will still get a testimonial because you guys are friends. Because how will the client know? Now, we all have this client. I don't want to name, but delayed in paying the invoice, delayed in responding and everything. But so when you're asking for a testimonial for people like that, they're gonna make you wait. When you make wait, if you're impatient like Danny, you're gonna put words in his mouth and pull a testimonial out of him. Now, when he approves, he did that. Now, if you guys have noticed, he's already 2 days delayed. Now he's back in this agency and a community group. Now he's asking for all the designs or all the content that you have done for DAOs who's working mostly in the EVM space. Now people are going to take mostly those projects that he would have collaborated on. Now the people are going to take a day or two maybe. He's going to get everything in a small link. It could be a drive. It could be anything. It could be a bunch of things. Now it's a scavenger hunt. Now you have to put all of that in one place. Put it in an email. Excuse me. Put it in an email, put an apology note because you have already delayed 3 days and send it across. Now, this have written inefficiency, irrelevant, unreliable all over it. Now, let me not go through all of that. When you look at solutions for this right now, let's look at LinkedIn, Fiverr, etc. You don't own anything. You don't own your reputation. You don't own your network. You don't own your credentials. It's a big risk for a platform. Now, when you look at buzzwords, like if you put synergy or innovation in your profile, and that's a sure shot, right? That's how you make yourself relevant in front of your client, because how will the client know? Now, if you had somebody smart like him and this agency group, he would have shared a linkDOT profile and asked him to go and check, because everything is documented, it's all there. Now you see Chris Pratt going, what? So what is linkDOT? What made Chris Pratt go, what? Introducing linkDOT. linkDOT is the ultimate proof of work portfolio for the Web3 talent. And linkDOT, in the version 1 that we have released right now, you can mainly do 5. 1, you can search for proof of work, talent, and jobs. 2, you can create proof of work. Proof of work is basically a type of work that you would have that there is a social proof of. It could be designs that you have shared for your clients. It could be content that you would have written. It could be templates, or in Danny's case, it could be some UX templates that you would have created. That's 2. Third thing is the portfolio section that you see in the middle will have all your proof of work documented, your own and and also the work that you would have collaborated on, also the verified credentials, the co-apps, the Git co-apps, etc. In the proof of work view, you can see the collaborators, and you can also see the people who endorsed or verified this proof of work, the number, and also the people who have verified your work. Now, why are we doing this now? Since COVID, we have seen this massive trend. This is the 71% is from a report from a survey done by Fiverr and UK and US alone, 71% of the Gen Z folks prefer flexible working hours than anything else. It's about making money. Flexible working hours, mental health, and owning their time is above any of it for these guys. When you look at organizations, 81% of the organizations are already using freelance talent or is planning to fill the gap in their existing workforce. Now, interestingly, in Fiverr, which is not a Web3 native place, obviously, 87% of the people have already made money out of metaverse related services. 2 million is the number of active contributors in Web3. That does not include off-chain work that would have done, open source projects, employees in Web3 startups, etc. So 2 million is a very highly conservative number. Now, our vision does not end there. Our vision is to be the biggest lifestyle brand evangelizing fluidity for Web3 talent with full stack services for job boards, escrow services, curated list from these curated lists will be created by elite operators. The second thing that you see over here is something that we are very excited about. If you are somebody like Danny, again, who have never taken a vacation in his life, if he even took a vacation, there is a high chance that he is working on that vacation. We want to enable that for our community. How do you use on-chain reputation, credits on our platform, that from our platform to travel, to explore co-living, co-working opportunities, travel and working opportunities, and to go see all these like conferences that is happening out in the world. When we're talking about traction, 2 weeks before when we launched the whitelist, in 48 hours we garnered 5K plus users in the whitelist, later we shut down. All in all, in the entire community pool, we have 650 plus in active community members. Again, the last 2 weeks numbers. We have also raised 13K plus USD in grants from multiple partners like Alchemy, Fire, Kela, government, etc. Now, talking about GTM, our core right now is entirely focused on Lens protocol at this point. This will help us with the network. One major thing to notice here is a proof of work or a portfolio does not make any sense if you don't add your collaborators or invite people for a testing. That's our main lever for achieving that 10x growth. That's the first community that we are dipping into, which is Lens protocol. Post that, we also want to explore talent layer, CyberConnect, GUM, to name a few. In terms of pricing for users, if you guys know the collect feature in Lens protocol, we charge 0.5 Matic. It's like an advertisement in the Lens protocol. We charge 0.5 Matic. With collect, they also make money out of it. That's a content monetization strategy of that, and we take 0.5% of it. For all the jobs that they apply to, for all the earnings that they make, we take 2%. And for agencies and organizations coming on, for there's a flat 1-year fee of 200 Matic. We are keeping it Matic just for consistency here. We are raising. Currently, we are raising 300,000 in safe notes. The target with that is to hit 75,000 to 100,000 users by the starting of next year. So the most part to build a brand like this, currently our team for tech and is with that team is sorted. We want to expand and solidify our product and dev capabilities, and that's where most of the money is going to be spent on. About the roadmap, obviously our priority number 1 is to go from 5,000 to 100,000 by January. That's one. For that to happen, we need to dip into multiple community modes, starting with Lens protocol, then go into CyberConnect, etc. That's how we are going. The next thing is obviously to improve on the UX, to improve on the experience for the people. And the third thing is obviously introduce the organization and agency profile. That's where the bigger chunk of the money would be coming from. Talking about the team collectively, we have 22 years of experience freelancing, and we are also a bunch with complementary skill set with business development and fundraising to Web3 growth, design, and development. We all have freelance. There is nobody who knows Web3 freelancing like we do with 22 years of experience in Web3. If you forgot everything, if you were not paying attention to anything that we are saying, how we are revolutionizing the work, the future of work is through this. Own your work, prove your worth, make it rain. Thanks, everybody.
Fantastic, Arju. Give it up for Arju, who is the co-founder at linkDOT. We do have time to take on any questions anyone has. Rohit, Pearl, Prashant, Pranav.
Before that, I think probably my team will we are also giving like an exclusive opportunity, even though we have closed whitelist. We're also giving some. We are opening up a 500 waitlist for the community here. If you guys want to join, you can check the chat. You can fill that form and join the plot. Join the private beta. We'll be reaching out to you in a week's time. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Any questions for linkDOT?
Hi, this is Rohit. Maybe one quick question from me, Aju. Aju, I've seen a couple of platforms now trying to build a services kind of layer in Web3 and outsourcing kind of layer in Web3. What I was curious to understand was, how are you providing a differentiated, better, very Web3 native experience to developers? So what are the different components as far as the developers' experience is concerned?
Got it. So the kind of platforms which are out there are, to the most part, only for curated content. They are kind of like making like a service business model in terms of curated set of tools, curated set of talent that is available already. So that's the existing type of kind of products already in the market right now. For the second questions, in the beginning at least, our core focus is actually generalist in Web3, mostly in the creative field. Like marketing, design, content, community. Those are the kind of people that we are going after in the beginning. For developers, there's nothing specific as of yet, to be really honest. Proof of work for them is as easy as sharing a link of their GitHub repo, and that's about it. In terms of how native Web3 it can get, the core here is that the one major thing that our users resonated with is the risk of getting deplatformed, few of which we actually did. That's why we wanted to stick with a decentralized social graph and get it on just so that there is a plug and play opportunity for the users to actually plug and play and go on with their portfolio, owning their reputation entirely tied to an NFT and taking obviously traveling with that in your Web3 or whatever.
Alright, so in terms of problems that you're really solving for them today, is number one is discovery. So they will be able to discover projects and projects will be able to discover them. In that sense, you're essentially an Upwork or a Fiverr with a specific focus on Web3. And please correct me if my understanding is wrong.
Yeah.
And then the additional thing that you're doing on top of this is just credentials. You will let them copy with it via an NFT.
Yeah. So the main thing here is talent marketplaces in terms of organization paying for talent it has not been really lucrative in the last 2 years. So focusing our entire eggs in one of that basket is not something that we are looking after. Our core problem that we want to solve is actually how to enable talent to show off work. That is the number one problem that we want to solve. That is one. And this thing is obviously a priority to kind of a problem statement that we're looking after.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Can I just jump in with a quick question, please?
Yeah, Prashant.
Aju, good presentation. Thanks for your time. The peer-to-peer verification, right? So can you just double click on that and explain how that is done and how can someone prevent that from being gamed, right? And how do you ensure that it's authentic in terms of the verification that is happening over there?
Okay. So in the beginning right now, this is acting as simple as a testimonial. Now to understand, it is again on the user to understand the fact that the testimonial that he got or the testimonial that this talent has is from a legitimate profile that will again tie to the profile which it came from. That's why we are also linking verified credentials, the non-transferable tokens on top of that, just to verify the fact that we also want to. This is a problem statement, obviously, that we are digging a little deeper into in terms of verify. how do we verify which organization does this particular person represent? That's why we have kind of push the organization profile and verify a profile to by the end of December. Right now we are planning to do that with non-transferable tokens, like simply as OAP, just to verify if this guy is from an organization that is claiming it to be.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ajju. I would suggest you put in your coordinates, email or telegram on the chat group. And I think there are a couple of questions on the chat group that you can respond it on the chat as well. Right?
Done.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So before I invite the next startup, the way we have structured this is about 7 to 8 minutes of presentation and the rest 7 to 8 minutes of Q&A to facilitate about 15 minutes for each startup to present and engage for any questions. While you are listening to the pitch, you have any questions, you can either come and ask the questions live, or you can put in on the chat and the founder will respond to it after the pitch is over, right? And in the meanwhile, if you can keep yourself on mute while the pitch is going on, that's really appreciated. Would love to invite Aureal founder Shubham, who is up next.
Thank you for having me here, everyone. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Pramlesh. Thank you, Pranav. I'll just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So, hi, my name is Shubham. I am the founder and CEO of Aureal, and basically, so now we're getting into that world where the age of information is over, and we are getting into the age of curation. So now in today's world, when you see there are so many platforms. When it comes to Web 2, there are so many platforms where you can post the content on. Every single time when you see a platform, you find that, okay, there is a specific feature that I would like, but I can't be omnipresent. That is the reason why there are so many platforms like Buffer, which is enabling you to be omnipresent. But when you come to Web3, you have so many platforms, you have so many chains, so many frameworks. But there is most important problem of all when it comes to Web 2 and Web 3. There is so much of information, and yet there was no curation, because now in order for you to take informed decisions, you need to have the right kind of information. I can give a very simple example. The difference between the song called Gucci Gang and the difference between Arriving Somewhere But Not Here by Porcupine Tree. When it came to Gucci Gang, it was the #1 song at a particular point on Spotify, and the only thing that contained in Gucci Gang was these two words, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. And it just did not make any sense to me. Now, there are so many platforms. In fact, the creator economy has gone up to $104 billion by 2022. And there are so many platform options. I mean, you compare Web 2 and Web 3, there are so many platform options. I mean, there are certainly a lot of revolutions happening out there, but you as a creator, you can't be omnipresent everywhere. And still the content has to be curated. If you just look at the podcasting market, well, it's growing at 31.1% CAGR when it comes to revenue. There is 20.9% growth in terms of listeners. And this just podcasting market is going to set to achieve $43 billion by 2032. It's growing at 27.52% CAGR. The interesting thing is that still 90% of the podcasts are still unmonetized. And we wanted to do something regarding that. So I am one of the co-developers of Hive Blockchain. And we have enabled these creators in order to monetize their content better than any other traditional platforms out there, like Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube for that matter. And we have democratized the content discovery, given this power in the hands of the audience. So monetizing content for these creators is a very challenging endeavor. I mean, with so much of information, there is limited creative control. I mean, you can get deplatformed from multiple platforms. There are too many platform options, and most importantly, the centralized platforms are taking too much of value. And it is very difficult to grow your audience. And now discovery is something which is like a pain. But yeah, you can still monetize on YouTube, but you'll have to wait for 3 months because you'll have to reapply for that monetization application. You'll need to have 4,000 hours of content being consumed, and you'll need to have 10,000 subscribers. Now we are going into that age where now you don't have to wait to monetize your content or get the value for your content. Now in Web3 with Aureal, it happens from day one. So we have a protocol that provides creators with independence. It monetizes their content from day one. It democratizes the content discovery via reputation scores, user interactions, and rewards. And we're effectively creating an engine where the creator can actually create their own micro creator economy. So yeah, there was a time when they used to get deplatformed. Now they can get self-deplatformed and they can start their own distribution channels. They can start their own monetization source. And most importantly, now they don't have to rely on ads or sponsorships in order to get the value for their content. So yeah, this is Aureal. So we have a multi-chain super incentivization engine for creators, which rewards creators and communities for engaging, creating, and curating the content. Our product is not really this platform. The product that we have is this single like button, where any interaction that is having, may it be content, may it be a podcast, may it be a video, may it be an article, when it is appreciated by your audience, when they like your content, or even when somebody else is liking their content, everything generates value. And through this, we are able to help the creators generate 10x more value as compared to any other traditional platforms. So this is one of the podcasts on Aureal called Joculation, and there is one podcast called Jock by Narayan. And we help them generate more value, 100x more value as compared to Spotify. And this is the impact that we have made for podcasting. So as we are a protocol, we still have to make a platform. So we give them a lot more features. So we have a new way of content monetization. We are enabling them to connect with the people live. So remember when you used to go to Twitter Spaces, now when you come to Aureal Livecast, when you're speaking, when you're interacting, every single interaction has a value. And now you can mint your user-generated content as an NFT. You can save it, you can share it, and most importantly, every interaction on Aureal, they count. So you can interact and engage. You can spend time to consume and curate. You can share and help the creator grow the audience. You're still going to get rewarded, and you can own the NFTs. You can own user-generated content as NFTs, and it is enabled by multiple partners that we have, which includes Coin Network, Lens Protocol, Hive, Ethereum, Polygon, Unstoppable Domains, and most importantly, Bitcoin Lightning Network. So our value proposition is simple. We have made this very simple for creators. They come in Aureal, and when they are creating the content, they don't have to worry about how much money that they are getting. All they have to do is focus on content, and at the end, they'll realize that they already have a crypto portfolio. That is something which we have enabled for them. And most importantly, no matter where you are, you can be on Spotify, you can be on YouTube, you can be on Anchor, Apple Podcast, RSS.com. No matter where you are, you don't have to just be. You don't have to be on Aureal in order to monetize your content. You just have to come to Aureal once. So we are creating the future of creativity, and we are enabling these creators to serve the platform. And all it takes is 3 simple steps in order for you to verify whether you are the owner of that content or not. Every single time when a new content is published, it is going to be automatically monetized on Aureal. So we have the competitive advantages where we are the platform which has democratized the content discovery. Now it's not the algorithms who is going to dictate what kind of content you are going to consume. It's the reputations of the users who are consuming that content, who are interacting with that content, which is enabling the creators to generate 10x more better monetization than YouTube. You have the ability to earn from the global audience, and you have max privacy and minimal censorship, and it's a new way of connecting with you. So the current traction that we have is that we have 69,000 hours of content, and we have generated $850,000 worth of rewards in the last year without ads or sponsorships. And we have enabled the revenue model since the last 6 months, and we have generated $41,000 in revenue. And we are actually getting this getting this superpower to all the other chains where we are working on multi-token bridge, cross-chain interoperability, social graphs, multi-chain NFTs, and N2 transferable tokens from i5 engine. And we are working with many other multiple partners out there. So this is a go-to-market strategy where now we are focusing a lot on the kind of content that is coming on Aureal, because now we have to ensure that the reputation is intact, and the ones who actually are creating the legit content, they're enabling that Porcupine Tree comes to Aureal instead of Gucci Gang. And for that reason, we already have a go-to-market strategy. So we already have a go-to-market strategy intact, and we have a global strategy where we'll be inviting a lot of influencers. We'll be inviting a lot of credible influencers coming on the platform, where they're going to be the ones who will be paving the way of the future of Aureal when it comes to content, because we understand that the future of content game is an exclusivity, and we have to attract diamonds here. So yeah, the team. So we are a team of 4 core members in the team. I myself, Shubham Upadhyay, I'm the founder and CEO. We have my brother as the CTO, Nihal, who is the product manager, and Aditya Tripathi, who is the smart contract developer. And we have experienced in diverse fields in terms of Web3, blockchain, crypto, and most importantly, all the other employees have worked in companies like Deloitte, Amazon, and worked on multi-million-dollar projects. We are accelerated by Foundership. Thanks for having us here. And we are powered by multiple platforms like Coin Network, Last Protocol, Lightning Network, Unstoppable Domains, Hive, Ethereum, and Polygon. And we have more than 32 exchange partners who are enabling that the rewards that you are actually earning from Aureal is something which you can cash out. And we are currently raising $750,000 in our seed round at $7.5 million valuation. It's a safe round, and this money is going to be utilized specifically in order to ensure that we're going multi-chain. We're enabling any Web2 platform become Web3, and basically have our access to all over the internet, where any like button that you see on any platform for that matter, where any user, when Web3 goes mainstream, when they have their own wallet addresses, well, we are going to change the way the internet looks like. We are going to change the way the information is valued. So we are going to be putting a lot of effort in our product development, and we are going to be having a lot of partnerships. And most importantly, now we have to attract a lot of creators and the audience out there. Currently, we have 20,000 weekly active users who are enabling that this content that they're listening to is actually valued. And now it's time for us to scale this up, and we have to ensure that what we have created in a small ecosystem is actually accessible to all the other layers, all the other chains, and all the other ecosystems out there. So that's pretty much it. I would love to have any questions that you have, and just feel free to ask me. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Kamlesh, Santosh, and Pranav, for helping me get to the point where I'm right now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shubham. Any quick questions? Shubham, we'll have only 1 or 2 questions time for you right now. And the rest of it, you can take it offline on the chat. Yeah. Any questions for Aureal?
Yeah. iPhone, I can't see your username, but go ahead.
Yeah. Any questions? No. All right. Pranav, do you want to mute that? I think there's some background noise. Not able to hear that. All right. Any questions for Shubham? Please take it up on the chat. Thank you, Shubham. Thank you so much. Just to call out, Shubham is from Nagpur, and he's a crazy bike rider, and doesn't hesitate to drive all the way down to Hyderabad, Bangalore, drives 500 kilometers at a stretch, and reaches the venue. So he's one of those real nerds that we are super excited to have worked with over the last 6-7 months, and bootstrapped and achieved tremendous results with fantastic tenacity and grit. Right. So just wanted to call that out for Shubham and his team. Thank you so much, Shubham.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next team. This is Team Zoth, Preetham and Kaushik. You're up next.
Hey, Vimlesh, and thanks, Foundership team. I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Let me know if you can see the screen.
Yeah, it's coming up. So while Zoth is coming up, Foundership has been backed by Polygon to enable the execution of our acceleration programs. So just wanted to call that out and place our sincere regards to the Polygon grants, the ecosystem grants, to help us facilitate and enable great founders to build. Yeah, over to you, Rita.
Thanks, Vimlesh. So I'm joined here by Kaushik, my co-founder. And first of all, I would like to thank the Foundership team. I think Santosh, Pranav, and Vimlesh. We started when we were a piece of paper. So I think it's been quite an exciting journey for us. We made multiple ideas and pivots, and I think it's great to present today at the showcase. So the journey of Zoth started with mine and Kaushik's experience in Budweiser or Indian Web. We used to run a fintech business. We kind of also did multiple initiatives there, and one of the opportunities we saw in a big way is the ability of Web3 to change lives for small and medium businesses, for real world players. Because crypto on its own, there is opportunity and it's scaling up, but how do you scale it beyond and really impact people on a day-to-day business? And if I look at from our experience, one of the core things that we saw is that in developed market, especially in Western markets, the cost of capital is significantly low. But in emerging markets, especially in markets of Africa, Southeast Asia, and India, the cost of capital is significantly high. And while only less than 0.5% of total traditional financing have moved to DeFi. It's growing at a significant pace, but the challenge is that it has not picked up the way it should due to various reasons, which include the illiquidity of real-world assets, ability to bring real-world assets on chain, and also most of the DeFi lending is currently done through collaterals, which is on-chain collateral, which is very difficult for a typical lender or a small business owner to understand. We at Zoth feel Web3 gives the opportunity of really leveraging and creating a level playing field for emerging markets as they come in, as they kind of compete with developed markets. And the biggest opportunity lies of linking both DeFi investors who are used to high yields to real world assets in emerging markets. However, there are three key problems of DeFi and linking DeFi to real world assets. One, it's very difficult to tokenize. The cost and the legal issues involved are quite high. There is limited liquidity that's available, and there is current DeFi ecosystems. There is no risk mitigation in place. For example, the entire risk lies with the DeFi investor. There are no default guarantees, and primarily the collaterals are driven primarily by the prices of price fluctuation of the cryptocurrencies, which in themselves challenge the whole model of bringing DeFi liquidity to real world assets. At the same time, emerging markets present a big opportunity. They are growing, especially in the market of Southeast Asia, India, and Africa. There, the businesses are hungry for growth. There is strong demand for capital. The cost of capital is very high, providing a unique opportunity for DeFi investors to come on board. So at Zoth, we powered small and medium businesses by solving this $5 trillion credit gap, which has been identified by World Bank and was of the top debt for emerging markets. We primarily work on the structure of an index pool, which allows our lenders to invest in the Zoth index pool, and also provide multiple features like mutualization and liquid staking, enabling risk mitigation, and also ensuring that there are drawdowns which are linked to a parabolic curve to take care of both lower collaterals and ensuring that there are no liquidity challenges in place. Well, DeFi lending is growing. There are more than 400 billion worth of liquidity that has moved towards DeFi lending. However, there are also risks that have come in. We have seen multiple incidents coming in this space. So how is the current model, and how are we catering to that? So most of the DeFi model currently focuses on lenders kind of working to non-NBFCs or non-banking financial corporations, and working with DeFi lenders who primarily act as an aggregator, taking very limited risk, and primarily most of the DeFi liquidity is done through stable coins as of today. And there are multiple varied underwriting standards and limited hedging capabilities that lie on. At Zoth, however, we take end-to-end ownership, which includes working with not only just stablecoin issuers but cryptocurrencies through our partnership with platforms like BNC, which allows us to create escrow accounts on multiple cryptocurrencies. The mutualization of our product allows us to create hedging capabilities, which ensures that the investors are investing across a basket of assets. So default of a particular asset doesn't impact the whole basket. The credit check and underwriting is something which we do. Between me and my co-founder, we ran a successful lending business which enables us to only vet assets which primarily have the right credit rating on the platform. And there are insurance products, on-chain insurance products, which we have built in, which ensures that there are enough default risks that are protected. So where are we right now? So we primarily we wanted to focus on areas because the whole market size is big, where we have strong interest. Based on our previous experience, we are focusing on SMB lending, invoice discounting, and asset leasing. In SMB lending, we are partnering with the consumer goods companies, primarily companies which have already strong reach across the small and medium businesses and are either have multiple fintech partnerships or are building new fintech partnerships to drive supply chain across their trade. We are currently in discussions with some of the top brands in this space. In terms of asset leasing, we are partnering with high growth companies in India and other e-commerce heavy markets, which again need strong capital infusion to drive their growth, and invoice discounting primarily for exporters and companies with strong order book, enabling us low default and ensuring that there are strong risk mitigation principles in place, both off-chain and on-chain, which we can leverage through our platform. For our invoice discounting product, we have signed a $1 million deal with one of the largest stablecoin providers, and ensuring us and we are deploying it across our invoice discounting. We will take you through our product in a separate demo, but primarily a fully Web3 native product which ensures that there is a strong custodial wallet in place with multiple assets mutualized on our platform. And Kaushik, my co-founder, can briefly touch upon it, giving an overview of some of the key features that we are building in. Kaushik, you want to go?
Sure. Again, thanks, Foundership. Thanks, Vimlesh, Santosh, Pranab, for the opportunity. Just wanted to give a quick brief on the platform itself. So overall, what we've observed is most of the other players in this space, in terms of our competence. Yeah, apologies. So we've observed a lot of players in this space, and we've identified that primarily in the structure of funds that they have established, there's multiple separate funds that they are raising every now and then. And when you invest in a particular fund, which is linked to real world assets, and the fund is tokenized real world assets on chain, you don't have any other option to invest in multiple other funds together, or the model is risk prone towards that fund getting delinquent. In our model, we essentially try to utilize the concept of mutualization, as Preetham mentioned, where our fund is mutualized across multiple different asset classes coming from different areas and different different regions as well. So now that creates a structure where your investment be exposed to multiple regions, multiple asset classes, individual assets themselves, which gives you a lot of risk, risk proofing in terms of your funds being on the fund, funds being saved. And when you look at the type of token that we get for the entirety of the fund, Zoth Index pool or Zoth Index fund, we essentially give out Zoth asset tokens, which are essentially the tokens which back your loan when you lend on Zoth. Essentially, you receive Zoth asset tokens which are backed by, again, real world asset class collaterals that are present in the pool or the fund. So overall, we have established a structure where the index pool or index fund will act as one single source of funds coming from DeFi investors and going across multiple regions into multiple different asset classes across emerging markets. And most importantly, we have also developed a liquid staking protocol, which essentially gives access to liquidity for all these asset tokens. So we enable anyone on the index pool, if they want to exit out of the pool, when they want their loan back, we have established a protocol which gives liquidity incentives to them. And we are collecting currently liquidity from multiple different players across through different partnerships. And as the entire pool is focused on one token, which is Zoth asset token, there's a lot of utility that we are building, where if you loan out, let's say $1,000 on the fund and you receive these Zoth asset tokens, you essentially can use these tokens as collateral and get additional loan to our utility players. So we are working with multiple companies over there where you can utilize your already loaned out tokens to get additional loan on them by using them as collateral. So at the end, what we're trying to do is build an ecosystem where we have players such as institutional lenders, we have individual DeFi lenders, and also real world assets, SMEs, real world funds coming together in a single platform, working together with each other. So that's the entire vision.
Fantastic. Yeah. Preetham, would love to have you wrap up quickly, and so that you'll have time for one or two questions.
Thanks, Bimlesh. So quickly, we have, building over the last few months, and over the last few months, we have raised capital. Initially, we partnered with both stablecoin issuers as well as crypto money markets, as well as are in progress of pipeline with some of the top brands. In terms of GTM, we, one of the core beliefs between both of us is to kind of first test our hypothesis. So we worked across multiple hypotheses and we have got initial traction and customers. And as I mentioned, about $1 million worth of loan book, which we have already scaled. And we became, in fact, the only asset tokenization company in India to be part of the regulatory sandbox. We are also part of Stellar Bootcamp, Stellar USDC, and we are also selected as part of as one of the top 5 DeFi projects by HyperNet, run by Polygon Ventures. The size of the opportunity is huge. There is a huge private credit gap across emerging markets. Just across our core focus areas, we see an opportunity of build $1 billion business within the scale of the next few years, because the demand is high, where there is a significant amount of DeFi liquidity that's available. Our core revenue model will focus on interest arbitrage, where we basically play, as well as liquid staking pools and index funds, allowing us enough bandwidth to earn fees and earn interest across multiple sources. And we are currently have built our initial product. We have got our B2B customers, and we are now in the process of launching in testnet our pilot product for DeFi retail users. Our focus will initially be high net worth individuals and B2B customers to scale up our TVL quickly and fast. Our founding team consists of business builders. Me and Kaushik were both ex-advisor. We scaled a fintech business and also launched Web3 products. We have Rakit, who is head of product, ex-Bain, and Parsha, who are head of regulatory as well as legal for Zoth. And we have Pratyush and Ekang with strong experience in building as well as selling DeFi protocols, as well as experience in strategy and risk management across various places. Our current investors include institutional funds as well as Web3 native ventures like Animoca Brand. Our advisors also include fintech unicorn founders like Kunal Shah, and we have established partnerships across the liquidity provisioning as well as product partnerships, allowing us scale and growth. I have a demo, but yeah, we are in the process of raise. Anybody interested can reach out to us, and we can talk about the specific term next part of the raise. We'll quickly go to the product demo before any questions.
We'll not have time for that
Maybe,
today.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anyone
we'll
can,
take on any questions. You can share the
yes,
link
yes.
to the demo in the chat box, right?
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
That will be great.
Yeah. Any questions for Team Zoth, please? We'll take 1 or 2 questions. Any questions? Prithvi, Rohit, Prashant.
Hey Preetham, this is Rohit. Maybe I can ask one question. And I've had the pleasure of speaking with Preetham before on this as well. But Preetham, very quickly, just to kind of clarify my understanding, there are 2 sides to this platform, right? One is the borrower side, where you're looking at all sorts of lending and alternate borrowing kind of opportunities, and on the other side is fundraising side. So the Web3 angle that you're introducing and the tokens that you're introducing is really on the funding side, where you're getting global investors to invest into these opportunities. But the borrower side is traditional Web2, etc. Correct?
Yeah, so currently the borrowers are traditional Web2, but we are also partnering with some of the Web3, primarily, borrowers in emerging markets like Nigeria and Canada, who actually are preferring stable coins vis-a-vis taking borrowings in their local currency because of the deflating currency in their local markets.
And the reason why I ask this is because people in the DeFi space and people who are lending in the DeFi space, they're used to 100% collateralization. In fact, they're used to over collateralization models where they have zero risk of default. In models like this, where you're lending to borrowers or alternate asset classes, is of course a certain risk involved. So this doesn't squarely fall within the bucket of DeFi. It's not trustless, permissionless, riskless lending that relatively riskless lending that DeFi lenders are used to. How do you kind of think about that?
Maybe I. Okay, so on the permissionless, right? So we want to initially for the few months our product is essentially SEBI permissionless, where definitely you can use all sorts of wallets that you want, but the yield on the platform is earned only if the tokens are locked in the Zoth ecosystem. But in future, we also want to make the product permissionless, because at the end, what we're trying to do is when new asset owners, when they onboard onto the platform, we ensure that there is essentially enough securities involved in certain asset classes. Because, for example, in case of SME lending or asset financing, the asset itself is the collateral. So this is something that we have done in our previous ventures at ADI, where we are for short-term loans, we were using beer itself as a collateral. And also combined with multiple insurance players that we are partnering up with, both in real world and also on chain, we essentially provide close to 100% collateralization on any of the loans that we are dispersing.
Sure. I guess the reason I was asking this question is the problem with any lending, borrowing business, any fintech, forget about Web3, but even if you're building in Web2, is not getting lenders. Of course, that is a problem. That's a lesser problem. The bigger problem is what is your unfair advantage when it comes to A, underwriting, and B, collections. Now, as I understand it, with both underwriting and collections, there you're taking a traditional approach, and you're at par with all the other fintechs who are kind of building in the same space. So you're not leveraging Web3 there. So what I would urge you, and Preetham, this is what we've spoken about earlier as well, is that how can you leverage the fundamentals of Web3 to essentially give you an unfair advantage versus traditional players, specifically when it comes to underwriting and collections, because that's the real problem with building a lending borrowing book.
Yeah, I think on that as well, right? So when we bring these asset tokens on chain, so what happens is when we tokenize real world asset classes and bring them on chain, it traditionally helps us improve the utility of all of these tokens. So what happens here is, though the underwriting and also lending terms are in the real world ecosystem, we're also building oracles. In long-term vision is to maintain a set of price oracles for all of the asset classes that we are dealing with, which essentially means that for every asset that is being onboarded, it gives the real-time value of Zoth asset token that is created for that particular asset. So maintaining price oracle means that we have a credit history that we are building on chain. We're also building a lot of different metrics to measure the asset leasing or the asset under the different projects that we are in, which enables us to, sort of give out much more clear underwriting, make much more clear underwriting decisions, which currently most of the real world players don't have. So initially we were thinking of real estate, and that's when we have realized that the price oracles have to be created first before even we went into that business. So that's where we were looking at multiple businesses, multiple projects which already have such price databases in place, like trade finance. They already have established data that will give out the price or the value of invoices that is already being built in Web2 world. Similarly, leasing financing projects, there's enough data that is present which we can bring on chain, which will help us evaluate these assets quick and also make sure our underwriting decisions are much more easier than compared to any other traditional lenders. So that's the entire long-term vision of our by tokenizing. I mean, we also tokenize the value and bring the data on chain as well.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Kaushik. Since you're going to be running out of time, any additional questions, please take it up on the chat. Before we, so thank you so much, Preetham and Kaushik. Great presentation. Before we move on to the next startup, I would love to introduce a new initiative. Before that, we have Anubhav from Polygon who's joined in. Would love to invite him to share some new initiatives and announcements on Polygon. Anubhav?
Hey folks, I hope you all are doing well. Excited to hear about each of your startups and more about the progress. Wanted to help you all put a name to the face and to say that Polygon is glad to be working with all of you. A couple of just quick ways, hopefully, that Polygon can be helpful. So one would be, feel free to reach out to me directly if there are folks that you'd like to connect to. If there's something that you're working on in a particular week or a period of time. Bimlesh and Santosh, I'll let you circulate my email address and folks can reach me there.
Absolutely.
Another resource that we have is there's a vouchers program through which you can apply, and it is a competitive program, but it's a way to get funding for discounts on particular middleware, tooling, infrastructure type services. So things like Alchemy credits, Filecoin credits are possible through that vouchers program. So just thought I'd share a couple of those items for now, and I'll let folks get back to sharing their updates. But good to be meeting all of you, and have a good one.
Thank you. Thanks, Anubhav. We'd love to introduce Pranav. Pranav, over to you.
Hey everybody, Bimlesh, you want to share the deck?
Yeah, let me just share the screen.
So pleased to be here. Thanks a lot for taking the time this evening, morning, wherever you are. And as you all know, Foundership is an accelerator but we're looking to do a lot more than just be an advisor and a friend for young startups. We also want to be a full service as a company that can assist all our founders to maximize their time with foundership and be a part of the ecosystem. So we're basically launching our own Foundership Ventures Fund, which is a $10 million fund that will be used to fund approximately 80 companies over 3 years. And the entire intent of the fund is to cut $100,000 checks at up to $3 million valuation for companies that come into our LaunchCamp program and also companies that are part of our ecosystem. And this is going to be launched in the next 60 to 90 days. So if you're interested in taking part in the early stage Web3 journey of young startups, this is the right place for you to come and invest via. And we believe that we are extremely unique at this fund because we're going to be making 80 investments over 3 years, and we're going to have approximately 10% of that coming back into Foundership HQ, which gives you a dividend income from the entire advisory portfolio of hundreds of startups that Foundership will accelerate, not only from the fund that you invest in, but also from all past, present, and future companies that Foundership is advising, incubating, or accelerating. So this is a pretty unique aspect of our fund. I definitely feel that if you're looking at doing early stage investing on the angel route or through or have some early stage exposure, we're also doing equity and tokens both. So it sort of takes care of that aspect as well. These are just some of the ways. We're theme agnostic, we're chain agnostic. This allows us to be extremely hands-on with all the investments we make. So we're not just taking a once a quarter update from our startups. We're actually helping them build out and build better and build faster with the help of our ecosystem. And I said, basically, next slide, please. So basically, as I said, our advantage is that we'll also have a follow-on fund for about $5 million because we want to double down and reinvest in companies that do really well. We also want to be able to bring these companies back into our network. So we believe we'll end up creating a super flywheel where investors as well as founders who incubate through us become investors for us, and also those companies then come back and become partners for us. So we believe this creates a super leverage, which ultimately means that our investments into Web3 startups go a lot longer and a lot more stronger into the startup than just money in the bank. And we will be considered as a lot more valuable by the founder group for any startup that we invest in, and therefore more desirable. Plus, we obviously are going to be doing deal by deal syndicates so that we can also get into later stage companies. And also our investors have an option to co-invest with us in any of the 80 companies that we do, so that they can have a larger chunk of the pie if they want to, or they like any particular theme of the 80 companies we're investing in. Lastly, there's one more slide, right?
No, that's, I think,
Okay,
the last
perfect. So thanks a lot. And we also do a small plug for our monthly pitch log. Pitch log is basically something we send out to all our investor groups. If you would like to be included in pitch log, please drop me your email on the chat here on Zoom, and I will include you in the March pitch log that is going out tonight, so that you can then look at the companies that are actively fundraising within the Foundership portfolio at this point of time. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pranav. Thank you so much. With this, we'll move on to the next team. This is team Phgitalize. Shaunak, over to you. Shaunak, you there? You may be on mute, Shaunak. Can't hear you.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, can hear you now.
All right, perfect. So, hi guys, I'm Shaunak Shetty. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Phgitalize. At Phgitalize, we are trying to enable Web2 applications to have Web3 capabilities. We believe this will lead to like wide-scale onboarding of creators. So, I'm going to run you through a little story. When I was a child, I remember content curation was very limited to two platforms. It was always Facebook and YouTube. And then we started seeing these content curation platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and these really gave rise to the whole creator economy. So creators created content that we love, and in turn, we supported them back through platforms like Substack, Patreon, and even OnlyFans. But now we are at that inflection point where we see that more of our social interactions are going to be happening on the metaverse. And we, as technologists, it's our imperative to make that future happen. And for that to happen, we have to make it more easy for creators to be able to create that. Now, Web2 had several forms of content, but it still failed to really give creators the ability to monetize themselves. And Web3 is addressing this. Now, the whole market size is absolutely huge. It's going to affect artists, influencers, creators, podcasters, anyone who creates content which stands to benefit from this technology. And the market sizes are absolutely huge that we're targeting. Now, with Web2, we started seeing these problems. I'm sure majority of you know it, but a creator sitting in basically India was not able to monetize himself the same way as someone sitting in North America. Now, Web3 is addressing those things with decentralization and many other things, but it has created its own set of challenges. Now, with NFTs comes its own set of technological hurdles that you have to jump through. And like while we were building it out, did we not stop to think, would creators be actually be able to do this? Now, creators are not really technologically savvy people. So let's go through the journey of a creator, how he has to do these things. First, the creator has to set up a crypto wallet. Then he has to fund it with cryptocurrency to pay for gas fees or transaction fees. Then he has to figure out the minting process, either by using command prompt or an SDK documentation or using third-party applications. The process is far from straightforward. Now, he could also, even after he mints the NFT, he still has to figure out which blockchain to use, which NFT marketplace to list it on to further his chances of making a sale. Now, these hurdles lead to a lot of frustration, even for seasoned creators. And that's where Phgitalize comes in. We at Phgitalize have built a solution that addresses the ease of access to Web3. Our technology allows creators to mint NFTs inside creative platforms that they already love and adore, like Adobe Creative Cloud, Canva, Figma. These are applications that every single creator uses on a daily basis. We take care of the wallet creation part, we take care of the gas fees. We even provide a simple option to list it on popular NFT marketplaces. And this entire tech has been patented. So as the product evolves, we are going to be offering more solutions for the creators so that the creator can actually have a better chance of monetizing this content. This in turn, having with the feedback loop, we are calling it more of a supply chain of digital assets. If you go into our patent, you'll be able to learn more about it. Now, the response that we received from the market has been absolutely overwhelming. We have more than 1,000 plus creators on our waitlist, many of whom have tested the product and they love it. Many of these creators are award-winning artists who work for major brands. Now, why did we choose these artists in our private beta? Is because business development is more of a relationship building exercise and we needed to get our foot in the door. So we have really hustled our way into it. Now we are talking about taking a lot of the Web2 solutions and taking the Web3 solutions and bridging them all together to have a seamless transition. This might seem like a behemoth of a task, but we do feel like we're the best team to deliver it. I, Shaunak Shetty, have been in the Web3 and crypto space for more than 10 years. My background is in law, finance, cybersecurity, and data privacy. I ran a crypto hedge fund called 618 Capital. We grew our AUM to $2 million. For the last 3 years, I've been involved with several NFT projects. Some of them have done really well. My co-founder, Jat, he's been in the tech space since 25 years, worked at IBM for 10, worked at several Fortune 500 companies. He entered this tech space when internet was more of just brochure pages. It was really Web 1 back then. So, sorry, is someone talking? Okay, so, yeah, so he ended up creating a lot of companies and he successfully exited 3 of them. Intercept was acquired by McAfee, Ironport was acquired by Cisco, and Opsware. The story behind Opsware is that it used to be called LoudCloud. LoudCloud was started by Andreessen and Horowitz. Jack was the third person they hired. It got rebranded to Opsware and it got acquired by HP. His total exits stand at $2.6 billion. Now, why am I talking about this? Is because I want to emphasize on the point that we have strong domain experience. We also have experience running 5-man startups all the way to enterprises and then exits in the form of IPOs and M&As. We've been backed by some key players in the ecosystem. Our Santosh Panda from Foundership is obviously there. Now we have a certain insight why we think we are entering the market at the right time. We've been seeing that since December, NFT volume has been growing 3 digits month on month. And we have the best team, we have the best product, we are entering the market at the right time, so we're bound to succeed. Now, how from a creator's point of view, this is what it looks like. He can probably access one of his everyday applications. It could be Adobe Photoshop. They're very much used to pressing file, they press export. Usually they press export as NFT. Right under it, there will be a button called export as NFT. Now, just by putting the button right there, it's going to lead to widespread adoption because a lot of people who never knew about NFTs are going to be able to access it. Since we take care of the crypto wallets, we take care of the gas fees, the transition to Web3 is going to be seamless. All they have to do is enter the details of the NFT, press save, and voila, the NFT is minted. It will show up on OpenSea. In terms of the business model, we spoke to a lot of creators and we realized creators are not people who really want to pay money upfront. So we are adding a 2.5% creator royalty. After speaking to our creators, we believe that this is a fair amount since we are saving them time and a lot of effort. We've also spoken to brands and we realized that we'll have to do different B2B licensing agreements with them. Once our product is really evolved and we can really better the chances of our users making a sale, we'll be going into a subscription model. Now, our GTM could not be encompassed here. So while in the initial days, probably 6 to 10 months, we'll be going in the more PLG method where it's going to be more of outbound. We want to get a lot of users onboarded. We want quantitative data. And then we're going to be moving into the CLG method where we build a community out. And it's going to be more of inbound and outbound. And once we build a strong community, they're going to get a lot of qualitative data, which we use to further improve our product. Now, the insight here is that we see that majority of Web3 projects fail at this one point where they apply the CLG method first. And the problem with that is building a community takes a lot of time. And that's where they usually just see that it's not working and they give up. So we in tandem are using the PLG method and then the CLG. We have started raising. It's been about 10 days that we've been raising, and we are already in due diligence phase with 2 firms, and just tech diligence is left with 1 firm. So I'm going to stop here. If anybody has questions, would love to address them.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shaunak. Yeah. Over to any questions.
My co-founder Jad is also online.
Good morning, good afternoon. Apologies for being late. Had a conflict, but happy to be here.
Thanks, Jad, for joining in. Yeah, any questions? Prashant, Prithvi, you got Bao.
I just put one in the chat, Shaunak and Jad. Can you tell me more about what patents you've applied for and what does that tech do?
Yeah, sure. So whenever you're creating a patent, you have to make sure it's broad enough to provide you with coverage across various dimensions that may be trying to infringe on your patent. But you also have to make it specific enough that it's patent eligible. So what we have patented is a methodology and approach for taking digital assets that are created on multiple platforms that our content creators are, and enabling that supply chain or methodology for delivering them into various different target environments, online environments, which could include metaverses, could include
I think we lost you, Jad.
3 things.
Was Jad or was it? Yeah.
Sorry, Jen, we lost the last 10 seconds.
We lost you at Metaverse.
Okay. And then other target environments like OpenSea and super rare, wearable, and whatnot. So really the patents around the methodology and the supply chain of how we transfer digital assets from creative environments to destination environments and on the outbound side. So what's that approach? What are the unique things that we're doing, which I'm sure Shona covered, to move those things from left to right. So that patent is in process, and I think we've defined it in such a way that it is broad enough to provide us protections against other people encroaching on the space.
Cool.
Perfect. Any
Fantastic.
questions?
Yeah. Any other questions? We can take in one more before we move to the next startup.
There's one more on the chat. Vineet Nair, I'm going to read it for you.
Yeah.
How do you foresee the aspect of decentralization if the creator softwares are built by centralized entities?
So thanks for that question, Vineet. Actually, the thing is, we've spoken to a lot of creators, and these are not like Web3 creators, okay? These are the majority of the creators who are not even technologically savvy. When we spoke to them, we realized that majority of them don't care about these offerings that Web3 is offering. They don't care about decentralization, scalability, privacy. These are not things that they care about. They care about making money and being able to do it in a more simplistic fashion. So the whole point of this centralized entity and decentralization, that is something that only we Web3 folks talk about. It's not there in the mass scale. And it's not there. It's not going to be there for a very, very long time.
Yeah, just to add to that, I agree. And I think it's also, when you're thinking about this, it's that Web3 decentralized, centralized is kind of a protocol conversation, right? People don't really care about TCP/IP. They just want information to go from where they're creating great content to where it needs to go. Whether it's wired, Wi-Fi, satellites, etc., it doesn't really matter to them. They're just like, make my life simple so that I can create a wearable or a digital asset and get it to my fans, my collectors, people that support me, enthusiasts, but also provide me the intelligence and the information to show the efficacy of how that information is flowing back into me, so I know my fans really love when I do a motion graphic combined with some audio, or my fans love when I create a wearable that they can use in Decentraland or Sandbox or Meta and what have you. So providing that feedback loop is also, they want those insights to help them get a deeper relationship with the folks they're trying to, that are really fans and enthusiasts of their work.
Cool. Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll move on to the next team. Any further questions to Phgitalize, please use the chat box and they will respond. And Shaunak, you can also put down your contact details in case anyone wants to reach out to you. Right? Thanks, Jat. Thanks, Shaunak. Over to Team Recorem.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everybody. You hear me and see my screen?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. I want to begin by thanking the Foundership team. It's been a wonderful journey for the past few months. It's been a great learning experience. So Recorem is a hiring platform. In the various tasks of the complete hiring lifecycle, discovery is the first section. Now, Recorem addresses that part, the discovery of talent. Web3 companies are our customers, building teams worldwide. They come to Recorem because Recorem has built a network of communities and events to access a untapped talent pool of technologists, and then need to move on to other areas as well. Unlike other platforms that rely entirely on inbuilt databases or referrals, Recorem accesses a new channel, which is the communities and the events for talent.
Recorem also delivers the best talent to hiring companies for the lowest per resume price in the market. Recorem's vision is to move the discovery portion of hiring to beyond job boards. So we're bringing new channels into this area. We also use Web3 and AI to help deliver the best talent. And additionally, we want to do this by rewarding the user for their data on our platform, which we think is the future. Here is the leadership team for Recorem. Anand Chingran is a mentor. He's a lifelong IBMer, IBM fellow. His startup Stepson was recently acquired by IBM, and Pratik is our CTO, a geek who started. Pratik started programming at the age of 13. He's a problem solver and a great, excellent team builder. He's built our team, a development team with the limited resources of being bootstrapped. He's based out of Toronto. Vikas and I are recruiters at heart. We do recruitment every day. That is our primary domain expertise. We bring the founder market fit into the product. Vikas is the CEO. He handles every aspect of the product. I handle the operations and finance for Recorem. When companies start to hire, the first thing they resort to is they post a job on LinkedIn or Indeed. They get a whole bunch of resumes. And the problem begins with who's going to review all these resumes. You might get 100 resumes. You read 100 resumes. It takes hours. You don't want to skip any resume out of the fear that you're going to be missing the best resume that you could have. Now, after going through all these resumes, you still haven't found the right person. Then you start to the other ways of hiring. You try to reach out to staffing companies. If you have the budget, it's a very, very expensive way of finding talent. You pay a lot of money. That's the business we are in every day. People pay us anywhere from 8% and up to 15 to 25% in the Western world. There are other problems related to this delay in hiring. The projects get delayed, loss of opportunity for the hiring companies. This is where Recorem comes in. Recorem has partnered with events and communities to bring in curated talent to the hiring companies on our platform. We use AI to distribute jobs to the relevant communities and events, and to also curate them and make sure that the right resumes go to the right jobs. We use blockchain, one for revenue sharing smart contracts, and also ZK to validate resumes and the experience of the people using our platform. The market that we are addressing is very agile, growing really quick. The jobs in the Web3 space are growing tremendously at about 600%. The industry itself is growing very quickly. The competitors, they have raised a lot of money because people see a lot of future in this area. The immediate addressable market that we have of Web3 job ads in the US, Canadian, and Indian markets. Now here's a little talent that everybody has is how much money do I spend to get what kind of resumes? So cost of acquiring talent and how curated these resumes are always the challenges in this space. If you look at staffing agencies, they provide high curation, but at a very high cost. Not every company can afford it, and not for every job. They might use it as a last resort, but primarily people want curated resumes at the lowest possible cost. That's where Recorem comes in. Here's a little slide comparing the products in our SON, which is the Web3 space itself. As you see here, Recorem provides the lowest per resume cost among all the platforms in the market, with high inbound recruiting capabilities, and has access to a group of passive talent that others don't have access to. We are the only platform that rewards applicants for actually sending in their data to the job ads. We are also AI enabled and community driven, which is the future of hiring. We are introducing a unique pricing model. As you notice that everybody else has a success fee based pricing model, or they have bounties for people who are referring candidates onto the platform. We have a price per resume that we charge our customers, and we also have the distribution of revenue between our channel enablers, which are the events and the communities, and the actual applicant. The revenue split 35% to the enabler and the applicant, and Recorem retains 30% of the revenue. Now this is where we are headed to, while we have this tailwind, while we have our sales ready to make use of the next upcoming boom. We're getting ready to get entrenched in the Web3 space. The revenue projection that we see is 100% year on year. We will add on Web2 jobs on our platform and non-IT jobs as we go forward in the next 2 to 3 years. The two assumptions we make here for our revenue model is the jobs, is the applications that we receive per job. What revenue we make for each application is how Recorem's revenue is determined. The number of applications is our North Star metric. After starting our paid beta in Feb, we have paying customers on our platform. Interestingly, we have added a good amount of communities onto our platform, reaching about 200 plus Web3 enthusiasts on our platform, 800 plus applications, and some of the partners that we have, and feedback from our customers. It's very encouraging for the platform. We have begun a raise of $1.8 million to complete the efficiency of the product and also entrench ourselves in the Web3 space. We welcome hiring companies onto our platform. Love to have more communities on our platform as well. And of course, open to questions from investors and anybody else in the audience. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Pratap and Vikas. Any questions for Team Recorem?
What sort of traction are you already having, Pratap and Vikas?
Vikas, you want to take that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Pram. So since we are primarily community driven, for now, because our supply of candidates are coming from communities, so today we stand at around 25 plus communities, giving us a distribution to over 200,000 plus Web3 professionals worldwide. The majority of this community is focused on APAC, and recently we also started onboarding communities from North America. We also have companies who are trying the product, and since Feb, when we started the paid beta, we have paying customers, and the monetization has started. We have started distributing rewards to our users as well. So that is the current traction that we have. And from here, since we have de-risked most of our assumptions and also got some case studies and success stories prepared, our next step is using this to go for a marketing strategy that will drive in more inbound and create a pull effect. That's where we are.
Super. I'm going to read one more question from the chat box, from the chat window. AI does the selection. AI does the job of selection of the candidates? Question mark.
Yes. So the AI does two things. One, it primarily distributes the job to the right relevant event or community. And when a person notices the job and when they try to apply, at that point, the AI also does a check to pre-qualify the applicant and make sure if they are eligible for the job, and only then the application comes in. So pretty much the AI does the distribution, and then the application comes in, the AI also does the matching and pre-qualification, ensuring that only relevant pre-qualified applications are coming into the company.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Team Recorem. Any further questions? Would appreciate to take it up on the chat box. Thanks, Vikas. Thanks, Pratap.
Thank you, Bimlesh. Thank you, Pranav. Yeah. Thanks, Vicky.
Yeah. We'll move on to our next startup. This is Team Trikl. Shalu and Roshan, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Maybe?
All good.
Okay. Hi. Firstly, thanks a lot, Foundership, for providing this opportunity again and again. There has been so many times that you guys have supported, and that's the reason why we have come past so many things and to the point where we are today. And that might be true for all the startups participating today and future as well. So without any further ado, would love to talk about Trikl, which is kind of a mixed panel for community discussions on different platforms. And as we all know that Web3 starts with community. It's all about community. Even the core of protocols, which is decentralization. It starts with multiple people living across different countries coming together and building something. But we saw that haphazard creation of a lot of communities caused some issues, and we help in building stronger communities. We'll talk about in much more detail, but before that, I wanted to introduce my team. My name is Roshan Sharma. I'm the CEO and co-founder. Shalu Pawar is here. She is the CTO, and Kaushik is our product and engineering. So I have been a content creator. I've been creating content, graphic designs for around a decade now. I have worked with EY and World Bank in digital finance, emerging tech, blockchain strategies for country governments and MNCs as well. While Shalu has worked on a lot of software technology. She's a mentor for a lot of Web3, especially the women community in Web3. And Kaushik has worked on around 10, 20 plus projects, full-scale products which have launched and worked. Together as a team, we have previously built everything mostly in hackathons, devised, iterated everything in hackathons, and we have won around 10 plus in Web3. And beyond that, we have built things for creators in the past. One was e-commerce marketplace, where we were leading a team of 17 selling 200 plus creators and more. Now, coming back to the problem. So as I was saying, it's very difficult to have you ever witnessed that whenever you open a chat group, there are so many chat groups with 500 200 messages, you lose a track of what was discussed 100 messages back. And that is for one person as you alone. But if you think of a community manager, he has to take a track of thousands of such messages, be online 24/7, and he or she doesn't have a proper technique or proper insight on what is being discussed. So it's very crowded and it's very expensive for the people who are running these communities, especially because they hire tens of different community managers and multiple experts are required, because especially since there are n number of platforms, be it Discord, WhatsApp, Telegram, and so many more. Now, all of these platforms have things for automation and they generally are in form of bots. But there are thousands of bots which are so ugly, so developer centric, and so tedious to integrate. Even if, let's say, you set up a Discord server, if you want to set up another Discord server, there is many a times you have to start from scratch, set up the whole thing again. Same is true for Telegram, same is true for WhatsApp. WhatsApp communities have just launched. So starting every time from scratch with no overall visibility of what is happening all across my communities, what is happening on Twitter, the Twitter community manager not communicating with Discord. So all of this is what we are targeting. And we have been working with creators for past couple of years and something was not possible. But with the introduction of ChatGPT 3, we saw a huge potential in uniting all these communities. So one is basic, we connect all these communities, Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp to one dashboard. There is one place where you can manage everything, see everything, connect everything. Once you have connected, we automate and we analyze your group, not on terms of, there are definitely some basic features like who are the current members, how many reactions did we observe today, what were the interactions, that is there. But our core expertise lies in analyzing the group discussion. So we give you group-wise analytics for individual groups. We give you a summary. We give you analytics like what are your members interested in talking about? Who are the members who are top contributors? Who are the members who are most helpful? They are helping you build the culture. And we give you topics which people want to discuss about. Once we have that, we automate the entire process through AI, automation, and Web3 native rewards. So there are two things. One, it's very difficult to always keep on thinking, hey, what content should I post now? So we automatically create content basis the discussions which are happening. We know who are the top contributors, so you can reward them, appreciate them through posts. So you can just click, send, the post is gone. And that is one way of rewards. There are other ways like giveaways, endorsements, campaigns, which you can do. We also focus a lot on building the internal community culture. That is through referrals and endorsements. Suppose someone is helping, they can thank
Recording
each other.
stopped.
Same. And
recording in progress.
And we also moderate, automatically give you all the data which is required for moderation, who is spam or not. But you can definitely chat with ChatGPT 4, which is live on the early access for us. And we would love if you are running a community, you can join our early access. Couple of communities are trying and loving it. They are sharing weekly updates, and we are pushing updates on a weekly basis. So this is our link tree where you can find all the details. If you are not sure, you can join our weekly newsletter for updates, which we are starting soon. And for investments, if you want to reach out, we will be happy to entertain in a couple of months once we are ready, but we will love to connect nevertheless. So open to any questions which you have.
Yeah, thanks Roshan and Shalu. Any questions for Team Trikl? Very happy to say that Foundership has been an early adopter of the Trikl solution, and it's been very insightful to see some of the top contributors and ideas on how do we engage our own community for more interaction and for more retention. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bhimlesh.
Yeah. Thanks, Roshan. If there are any further questions, please take it up on the chat. We come towards the end of today's graduation showcase. We do have a couple of coaches on on the call. Archisman, if you're around, Bagban, Prashant, would love to have you share a few thoughts. Prashant, you there?
Hey guys.
Yeah, there you are.
Hey, yeah. So primarily, I had a great experience. This is my first 3 months since I started coaching. I think the quality of the founders are phenomenal. They have come prepared. A lot of the basics. This is not something that we need to go through. They're pretty good at taking feedback, I would say. Given that you have matured, usually you see a lot of pushback on what you've been working on. It's a baby, but then to optimize it, to make it better, to make it a product market fit, I think the quality of the founders is phenomenal. The support that they get from all of the back office is great. So it's been a pleasure experience.
Fantastic. Thanks, Prashant. Any final thoughts from Rohit, Nathan from Polygon Ventures? Any comments? Any inputs or any advice for the startups that pitched today? Would love to have you share a few thoughts.
Yeah, this is Rohit. I would basically echo the thoughts that Prashant had. Certainly enjoyed this session, both in terms of the kind of startups and how prepared the founders were, as well as the overall kind of structure for the program. So certainly well thought through and made it very convenient for us. So certainly enjoyed it. Would love to help in any way that I can, both
Fantastic. Thanks, Rohit. Thank you so much. Nathan from Polygon Ventures, are you there? You're on mute. In case you're trying to.
Amit, you want to share some thoughts? Amit Singh is here.
Yeah, Amit is also one of our coaches. Amit, would love to have you share your experience as a coach.
Yeah, Vimlesh, just give me a moment. I'll come on video.
Sure.
Looks like Santosh is on his way to Japan, huh?
Yeah, he's on his way to Japan for Eat Tokyo. Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Have a safe trip.
Yeah. Absolutely. So while we wait for Amit to come over, would love to invite anyone else who wants to share feedback for our startups here today. Anyone from the audience?
Hi, my name is Vikram, and I'm co-founder at Hypersign Protocol. One point, like I observed most of the startups here. I love the way we are focusing on the business side because it's most of the Web3 projects, they lack, the product market fit. And I like the fact that Foundership has helped all these startups to focus more on that, which is a good point. On the other hand, what I see missing in this is my suggestion. I know it can be based on each startup's business. Could be taken it. It's might not be important for everyone, but in general, is that whenever we work on a product in Web3, we have to keep in mind the philosophy of Web3. While we are focusing on the product market fit, we tend to lose on the decentralization, and some of these, basic philosophies. So I just want to, remind all of us that whether we are building, X into Y of any other Web2 product into Web3, but not go back to the same, we end up into a product which starts having data centralization and, they start becoming centralized. So I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but this was just my feedback.
Sure. Wonderful. Thanks, Vikram. Thank you so much. Amit, a few thoughts from you on your experience as a coach, and you have also been an advisor with Phgitalize.
Absolutely. So I've had the opportunity of working closely with Shaunak and Jet on Phgitalize, as well as Hidayat, on 1W3. And with both these startups, one thing that truly stood out was the founders have been willing to really work hard. And I trust from your side, even from my side, there was like plenty to do. And the openness and the execution demonstrated by both these guys was very inspiring. Like maza aata hai inke saath kaam karke, and that truly a joy working along with both of them. And I'm pretty sure like some of the background prep work that happened with both the startups had a role to play, and possibly expectations on how startups need to be as far as being very consistent with their or being truly committed, and having a strong bias towards action is something that got instilled as a value, which seemed to permeate across to me as well. The way the startups work, like they would have a clear-cut milestone sheet where they would have filled it up, they would come for the coach call or whatever we call it, right? And it was nice to work along with them. That's essentially my feedback.
Fantastic.
I enjoyed, had a great time.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you so much, Amit. I think with this, we are also right on time here. I would like to thank everyone, on behalf of Team Foundership, on behalf of all the coaches who have spent a lot of time with these startups over the last 6 months. I'm sure all the startups are grateful for their, interventions and debates and long, hard-fought conversations with their coaches over the last 6-7 months to reach this point. And we wish all the startups the very best. And as we say, once you're part of Foundership family, you're always part of the Foundership family and part of the larger ecosystem. So always around and happy to connect you as and when needed as you move forward in your journey. Right. With this, thanks once again for everyone joining in. I know it's 8 p.m. in India, late night in Southeast Asia, and just start of the day out in the US. So thank you, everyone. We will host out the recording, though it has been live streamed on LinkedIn and on YouTube. We have also recorded the session. We will soon upload these pictures as well on our YouTube channel. Right. So with this, thank you so much for joining. And if you last shout out from Foundership, if you haven't joined our community, just search on Telegram Foundership and feel free to join the community. And if you're a founder looking for further support, join our upcoming 0x camp, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you and explore if you could work together and create some magic and shift your Web3 orbit to the next level. Right. So with this, this is Bimlesh signing off along with Pranav, Vardit, Hema, Tejal, and a bunch of others from our team. Santosh is traveling in transit. There he is. Right from Delhi.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. And hope you guys had a good time. And thank you so much. Good night, good morning, and good evening.
Thank you, Foundership and all the coaches. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Recording stopped.